Greetings, it is Isis Q. This is the third installment with automatic writing. And so we have part one the other day, then I think yesterday we did part two. So this is part three of learning a little bit more about what automatic writing is, what the process is, how does it work, what's going on, can I do this? And I would say absolutely you can do this too. So that's what I'm looking at is assisting with people to have more experiences with getting guidance from another source of consciousness. It could be your higher self, it could be your soul, it could be the angels that are working with you. I always just say that, my information came through a proper English woman. Now I found, I believe that she's maybe an Irish woman. I don't know, but it was like a little small voice kind of fluttering around with words and sensations, and I went with it. That was back in the first day of 2008. I did 365 pieces of automatic writing with that beautiful divine being that was suggesting that I can do this. I never had emotions around it. I never really questioned it. I just was like, well, I was always a writer. So, but I'm just kind of acknowledging that what I can do, I think you can do the same, or you might even do better than I do. That's what I'm really seeking. So, with this course we're doing with automatic writing, it's so powerful and it's so amazing, and it's giving us more kind of like universal truths, more guidance, more clarity of insight with what you're working with, maybe with your body, with your relationships, and your capacity for prosperity. So we're going to get going. So I've got these two, part one, part two, and I'll put it in the descriptions below so you can see part one and two, and then of course there'll be the third one. All right. So when we start working with the automatic writing, some people don't know exactly what do I do? what what do I do? What is this about? And so I would say if you could just kind of relax into it. Now some people are kind of like all like kind of dialed in. I used to be super type A, just so aggressive and everything with real estate and land deals and stuff like that back in the Texas Hill Country. And now I don't feel that anymore, right? But to relax into it means just to kind of like be more grounded with some of these tendencies. So sometimes you might feel like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I don't know, should I be breathing differently or should I be doing something different? I would suggest if relaxation is a challenge for you and you're not able to just kind of let yourself go. I'm pretty easy to let myself go because I've been a yogi for a number of years and yoga teacher and doing all kinds of other kind of other kinds of processes that I work with to help people feel better and lighter in their body. So the grounding technique might be something just really simple that you know, go outside, go barefoot, sit in the grass, sit in the grass, walk on the grass. um, I used to do, like, back here I'm in Arizona, so there's not many trees that I can lean against unless I'm in these different areas. But where I'm at, it's pretty much the desert. But you can still, like, if you have a tree, you might want to put your whole spine and connect that to the tree. Just connect with your spine attaching to that beautiful tree. But you could also be grounding just by simply being aware of nature and acknowledging nature and really watching the flow of life with the birds, maybe, or sometimes in the morning I hear the bird songs, and it's really neat because the bird songs start, like, kind of engaging with me. I feel like they're dancing with me. But grounding is going to be really important for you. So there's a lot of earthing techniques that you might want to look at, and also with grounding techniques. But I think for myself, I like to just be outside. I like to get some vitamin D. I think everyone should have some beautiful sunlight during the day. It's really, really exceptional to get more guidance. So just being out in the nature and out into the world is where we get, that time being quiet and observing and having different experiences with life through nature. I think that's really powerful. So relaxing into it could be grounding or an earthing experience. Okay, now also sometimes, like, okay, so we're going to create a course and we're going to be assisting with you, but I think at the very best that we can do is find a mentor. So the mentor right now would be me and my partner when we're going into the course. But I think having a mentor or somebody that you can look up to and go, well, it's not working. I don't know how to do it. And, I had a little bit of an inkling of some information that was coming through. And, so, but that mentor is going to really help you to benefit the things that you're seeking in your field. Again, we really look at three major topics of life. It could be work, or, it could be something like that about your work and your everyday things. But I think the big energies that we're working with are about the healing of the body, finding a relationship, having a better relationship, maybe even with yourself or with your partner or your spouse. Or you could be looking at the capacity to create more abundance in your field. And so, all of these qualities, having a mentor and having somebody that you can share with and have a collaboration with some of these thoughts and impressions, it's really important, I think, at the very beginning to have somebody that can help you. Okay. The next one is you just keep practicing. So, with automatic writing, so mine was very spontaneous at the very beginning of my back in 2008. I'm almost 15 years into automatic writing, and I continue to love it. I continue to embrace it, and I continue to just be curious, like what's going to be next. So keep everything I'm doing is like a practice. Some people say, I don't even know how to do this, I don't know how to start. Well, just think about this too. Maybe when you were a baby, maybe you don't remember, you were like a little baby, just kind of like crawling on the floor and, doing all this. And all of a sudden, they maybe kind of, push up a little bit. And then eventually they may start beginning to stand up. And then maybe they'll start, walking or running. But each one of us, even at whatever age we are, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, right? But everything is a practice. So what I always say, if it's just keep practicing, continue to keep practicing. There's so many different other examples of that I could share. But maybe I was starting to be a yogi. I was a yogi for a number of years. I became a yoga teacher back in, I think it was like 2012 or 2011, and it took me a long time to kind of figure out how the postures were to go, or what the feeling tone, or the bhavana, which is feeling tone. And I remember too, even back when I was a yogi and learning how to be a yoga teacher, is I noticed that when I first started doing a little bit more of the postures in yoga, I noticed that this shoulder here had an injury um, for a while. And then what's so interesting is I continued to modify. So I really wasn't really 100% with the some of the postures that I was being in. And then I started noticing over time that it was still there, kind of still there. And then there was that one moment when I realized I forgot that I had a problem with my shoulder. That means that over with practice and continual practice and modification and being in acceptance that there's a little boo-boo, right? It was a bee over here on the shoulder. But then eventually, sometimes when things occur so drastically, because I wanted to be the perfect yogi, but I had an injury. And so what was interesting is, what it's so funny when people start kind of recognizing they have an injury, they kind of know the day, the time, the experience, but a person doesn't really know that it's already gone. They kind of forget about it. And then they realize, oh my God, my shoulder is 100% complete. It's totally healed. And this is kind of how it works for a lot of people, is that when you keep practicing and you keep staying with it, and even if you have to modify or shift or change or do something different, that's going to be really beneficial with your progress, even with automatic writing. So I always say, keep practicing. Keep practicing. I even go back to Texas. I was a Texas girl, and I always think about the Alamo. Remember the Alamo? They stayed and they did what they did, but they continued to persevere with what they knew would be inevitable, a serious experience down there in Texas. But I always say, remember the Alamo, remember the Alamo. All right, so the next one is develop your practice. So, developing your practice could be whatever you want it to be. I would suggest, if you're beginning to engage with getting more intuition, more insights, more benefits for living and experiencing life in a more rich way, I would say that you have a practice every day. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Mine was, I was so steeped in it at the very beginning in 2008. I was steeped in the energy, and it was so delicious. I loved accessing all of these words and phrases that I wouldn't even use. Most of my automatic writing is not the way I speak, and a lot of the times I don't even know the words that are coming through. So sometimes I'll do a little definition to find out what does that really mean? So my automatic writing is not my speaking voice. It's from another state of consciousness that's bringing in that goodness. So developing your practices, whatever it is that you want. And so it could be, like I said, 5-10 minutes. But I would say if you're really going for it, and you've got it's like 24 hours in the day, you have an opportunity to take some time, set a timer if you want to. We're going to do it for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and see what you get, and continue to persevere and keep practicing. And some of the reaps of rewards of automatic writing is you get these insights that will blow your mind. It's like so amazing. Like whenever I go back from 2008 and read some of my material, I didn't really understand it at the beginning because I was just typing, typing, typing. But then you start having a deeper relationship with some of the words and the phrases and some of that consciousness. And every time I look at that, it seems like I'm going higher and higher and higher with my frequency. So I really offer this to you that it would be really beneficial for you to just take some time and relax, go into a grounding practice. I'm kind of making my cheat notes here, and find a mentor, find somebody that can assist you, and then keep practicing. You remember the Alamo. Develop your practice in the way that feels best for you, and then keep your promises with that. And then the reaping the rewards of automatic writing is going to be so neat because over time, when you look at your written pieces, you're just like, wow, who wrote that? I always think that. Who wrote that? I wrote that, but who wrote it? Was it me or was it some other energy? So, anyway, so I think that's it for now. We'll have another session maybe tomorrow or the next day with some more automatic writing. So, have a great day and namaste.